Welcome to another edition of Squib Radio. I am your host, Elias Powell, and I am joined here today with Robbie Simpson and Riley Pollock. How are we doing, boys?
Yo.
I'm doing pretty well here. Lost out to you in fantasy football playoffs this last week, so not stoked on that, but we'll get through it. I think I can still see your face and talk to you today. We'll see.
Yeah, that was a tough loss, Riley. It came down to the wire on Sunday night between good old Tariq Cohen and Robert Woods, and I squeaked out that win, and I'm on to semifinals.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good game for either of us, honestly. We both averaged well over 100 points this season, and I think the final score was 93-91, so not a great week, but congrats on moving on, and I hope you lose.
Yep, Robbie, of course, also in our league together, having the bye.
Yeah, that's what first and second place will do for a guy. You get to take a week off.
But let's get into those games, Riley. Your boy Julio was making some records.
Yeah, Julio Jones is the first receiver in NFL history to go over 1,400 yards in 5 straight years. He did so this week, even though his team played terribly against Green Bay. He had a great week. So, yeah, my boy Julio, tearing it up, best receiver in the NFL, and, you know, just a straight beast. If Steve Sarkisian knew how to use him properly, he could be at 2,000 yards this year.
No kidding. At least he's catching touchdowns now, and he's our boy. I mean, he went to Alabama, so I get half of them there. That's
true. Alabama, they fire out some pretty decent NFL players, I hear.
They're the mitochondria of the SEC. They're the powerhouse.
Yeah. If you guys haven't heard of Alabama yet, you should check them out. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're good. They play football.
Eli,
Falcons. Oh, what was that, Riley?
You got a tough decision to make too this year, don't you, with Julio? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I got to choose to keep either him or Antonio Brown. So it's a tough one.
I don't feel bad for you.
Me either. I hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest stories of this week, I don't think, unfortunately, the biggest story, because it was overshadowed by one major play, but we'll get to that in a bit. But the Rams losing to the Bears. The Bears defense is real.
They looked so good. It was a combination between them looking good and the Rams offense playing awful in the snow. Like, they looked so bad. Todd Gurley had like 11 rushes or something for 28 yards. Like, he didn't look like himself. Jared Goff looked like he did when he played for Jeff Fisher. It was just ugly.
Yeah, that Rams team was it was not great to watch, but you got to give some credit to that Bears D, man. I mean, they're really, really good at football. They made Todd Gurley look completely pedestrian, even when they did run the ball. I think they could have given him the ball a few more times, but yeah, Gurley didn't play great. The Bears D did play well, and they did enough to win.
Those Bears linebackers were insane. Like, between Trevathan, Mack, and then Roquan, like, just 3 beasts in the middle, and then you've got a guy like Eddie Jackson from Alabama playing safety there. Like, they looked unreal. I don't know who has a better defense than them. They remind me of the Seahawks back in 2015.
Yeah, they're a scary defense, and having Akeem Hicks in the middle of that defensive line too is just a run-stopping monster.
You mean the running back, Akeem Hicks?
Yeah, fullback extraordinaire.
No.
Man, he had a rushing score last week,
guess,
and then he came on this week with him and all of his buddies from the D line, and they scored again. That was a fun game.
He's a beast from the University of Regina. Let's go.
Yeah, it's that offense that the Bears are running right now. It's not the most flashy of offenses, but it looks like they're having a good time. Their goal line offense is hilarious to watch, bringing out half of the defensive line.
Yeah, that was sick. That was really cool. Did you guys see that switch? You must have seen that switch where he pulled all 11 guys off the field and Nagy shot on 11 more.
Yep.
That was insane. I mean, I understand why they had to call it, because I forget who it was. I think it was Roquan. He just smashed the line official. And you can't have the game going when the guy's on his back, but Nagy was fired up about that, and it would have been so cool to see.
Yeah, it was definitely chaos. It's too bad that just such a simple play or such a simple action, I guess, knocking down the ref, ruined that whole play. That was going to be crazy what they were going to do. But, I mean, he came on late, too. There's a lot of rush, and he just ran through the ref. He had to get there, which is too bad because that would have been awesome.
You have one person you can't knock down, and you knocked them down. So I don't feel too bad. But
he
Nagy
was pissed.
Fired
he was screaming,
up.
"That's on you!" at the ref like 6 or 7 times in a row. That was hilarious. He was pissed off, and it's like, well, the ref doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. Like, you can't run the ref over. It's pretty simple. Don't hit the ref.
Well, and the ref definitely, like, that's on you, but so was Buddy's cleats. Like, that ref is not a huge dude. And I think it was Roquan who just destroyed him. Like, he's going to wake up sore for sure.
Yep, but, refs are tough. They get run over at least a couple times a year. So it just so happens that it was on a huge play that didn't get to go out because he got ran over. But, life moves on.
He's going to find some bruises when he thaws out.
What's that?
He's going to find some bruises when he thaws out. Soldier Field looked cold.
I think it's pretty funny to see, this LA team come from the sun and beaches of LA and go into Chicago and just lay an egg offensively.
Well, man, all their players are from warm cities. I mean, like Todd Gurley, Georgia. Jared Goff went to Cal. Robert Woods went to USC. Brandon Cooks, Oregon State. Like, these guys aren't accustomed to playing in anything other than maybe a light drizzle.
Yeah,
and
it's really interesting that weather can play such a factor in these players' careers because a lot of them, well, not a lot of them, but a few of them have never played in cold weather like that. I mean, and it's a completely different ball game. You want to hit people. Like, if you don't have a want to hit people, you're going to play scared, you're going to play cold, and it's a completely different beast to play in cold weather games than it is on a plus 30 day.
Oh, totally. And the Bears are just so conditioned for it. I mean, if you were to look at, like, team picture compared to the other side, I mean, the Bears are sleeveless. The Bears, are flexing. They're not worried about anything. And almost everybody in a Rams jersey was wearing long sleeves. They're just not used to it.
Yeah, and actually, before the game started, during the pregame, most of the people on the pregame show were picking the Bears, and the big thing was playing in the cold. And I sort of laughed to myself because I didn't think it would be that big of a difference. But I'm just blown away because that Rams team just doesn't show up and play that kind of football any other time. Like, it's got to be the cold that's behind that, but pretty crazy. And speaking of dominant defenses, the Baltimore Ravens waltzed into Arrowhead and forced overtime against the Chiefs. I think a surprising move. I didn't really give them much love. I thought they were going to get blown out, but kept it close.
Man, that Baltimore defense is just as good as the Chicago Bears defense. They are so good, and with Lamar Jackson holding onto the ball, their time of possession with him at the helm is something like 42 minutes on average. Like, that's insane. So, like they were saying during the game, it doesn't matter how good your offense is. If you only have the ball for 15 to 20 minutes, you have to score every single time. So Baltimore is one of those defenses who are capable of making sure you don't get into the end zone every possession. So they keep all these games close.
Yeah, I was not a believer in this Baltimore team. I thought Lamar Jackson would do all right on offense, but I didn't give this defense enough credit at the start of the season. I mean, Baltimore always has a good D, but I just didn't think they were going to be that good. They have some aging players as their studs, and I just didn't see them being that good. But if they had any sort of offensive weapons, like real ones that consistently can take games over, this Ravens team, in my opinion, would be a Super Bowl contender just because their defense is that good.
Yeah, if they had that go-to wide receiver, they would definitely be a force to reckon with. I still think Lamar Jackson's a bit too new and fresh still to be able to provide a receiver of that caliber the ball consistently to have that much of a game-changing impact. But give him another year, maybe 2 years, and if they can secure that bona fide wide receiver one, they're going to be a good team, and they don't really need all-star running back in Baltimore. They've never really played with them. It's sort of whoever's up, step up and do what you need to do, and they just need that big physical receiver.
I think if you had Travis Kelce or Zach Ertz on this Ravens team, they could go to the Super Bowl. I don't think Lamar Jackson needs a one who can, dime out 50 yards and he'll hit him in the chest. If you had a guy just running slants and like out routes for 10, 15, 20 yards like Travis Kelce, I think they could go all the way. They're so good.
Yeah, I like this Baltimore team. I think they could squeeze into a wild card spot and really give a good team some trouble in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Baltimore, they played such a good game, but they were playing against Patrick Mahomes, who just continues to make mind-blowing plays. Like he's looking off the receiver to the other side of the field and delivers like a 13-yard no-look just dart.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. That one in overtime. Or maybe, no,
it was a bit before overtime.
Yeah, it was the fourth quarter. It was 4th and 9, was looking like they were going to take it. He runs 15 yards to the right, throws it to Tyreek for a gain of 14. Like, Tony Romo said it best. He's like, Aaron Rodgers maybe is the only other quarterback that makes that throw. That's how good this guy is.
I don't even think Aaron Rodgers could.
That was craziness.
Yeah.
I'm not even surprised by Mahomes' athletic ability anymore. Like, he's just a total monster. He rolls all the way out to the right on some throws and then throws across his body for first downs, and he's so good with the ball, and I think we're going to watch a very special football player for the rest of his career.
Yeah, but with that, though, it's also a double-edged sword because you did see him in that game make a lot of questionable throws. Like, he threw an absolute duck and just tried to strong-arm it to a receiver, and it didn't come anywhere close, and Baltimore intercepted it. But once he takes away those, silly plays where he just thinks he can strong-arm it to his receiver, he'll be a very, very good quarterback moving forward.
Talking about silly plays, how about that Miami Miracle? That was that was silly.
Yeah.
That was as silly as it gets.
It couldn't have happened against a better team.
Or a better safety.
Yeah.
Like, Gronk had the
Gronkowski.
easiest angle ever to make that tackle, and he just took 3, speed wobble steps and hit the turf. It was hilarious. I hate the Patriots, and I'm so glad that happened.
Yeah, I don't know if it... Yeah, he blew a tire. I love that. Kenyon Drake runs it in. Bama. They produce good football players. That's all I can say.
Yeah, he's... well, everyone from Bama plays well, and they make big plays. And that's going to continue to happen for as long as that team stays a dynasty. But, I mean, those plays like that only happen, once every, 10 years maybe, where you get a sick trick play or, last-second play that works. I mean, Aaron Rodgers hammered out about 3 Hail Marys in 6 weeks, it seemed like, a couple seasons ago. But, I mean, for those pitch plays to work, a lot of things have to go wrong for the defense and a lot of things have to go right for the offense. And this is a week that I'm not going to shit on Miami. So congratulations, Miami, for beating the Patriots.
Yeah, and not taking anything away from those Hail Marys that Aaron Rodgers had, but they have nothing on that pitch play. You got to get upfield. They pitched it to the right once. It almost looked like a rugby play, just a perfectly scripted play that you would see in a rugby game. 2 laterals, and then you have Kenyon Drake just cut to the left a bit, and then right up the sideline. It was textbook as far as I'm concerned from the rugby that I have watched. It doesn't get more rugby-ish than that because it would have been 3 safeties back.
And just a couple key blocks, too. I mean... there was, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Miami's tight end who just was looking for the pitch and then noticed that Drake was just giving her and went upfield and made one key block to really spring Drake there, and it worked out. So, I mean, yeah, just so many things, small things had to go right, and they did there. So it was a great play. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, play of the season for sure.
And it's against the Patriots, too.
Yeah, suck it, Tom.
The Patriots can't win in Miami.
Tom has a losing record there, doesn't he?
Yeah. They haven't won. I think they've won one
That's
of the last
insane.
5 in Miami.
Because, like, Miami sucks. And has...
Miami sucks, and
Yeah.
the Patriots don't lose.
Yeah. And even more so, they don't
There's
lose
some
to
cracks
teams like
in the
Miami.
armor there
I mean,
in New England, I think. I don't think they're quite the powerhouse that they have been. Even with a pretty good receiving core this year, there's just something a little off for the Patriots, in my opinion. And I honestly think the Chargers are the second best team in the AFC. I know I said it a few weeks ago, but I'm going to stick with it. I mean, that Chargers team, they're looking pretty good.
yeah, we will get to this upcoming Thursday night Charger game against the Chiefs. But one more note on that is, like, it almost seems like the Patriots kind of
Yeah.
get lazy. Like, you have all these offenses that are just dazzling the NFL, and the Patriots are just like, oh, we're the Patriots. We're just going to out-scheme, and we're going to win. That's just the Patriots' way. And so seeing stuff like this is kind of nice because
Yeah.
it's sort of an ego check to the Patriots. How far they get into playoffs is, still yet to be seen. That was a huge loss for them, too, because they would have locked up that, that division? No.
Yeah, they had the division.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens going on there. Also, I guess the Steelers are in free fall almost right now.
And the Steelers have a super tough schedule coming forward, too. I actually think that the Ravens can make this can win that division.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't lose to Oakland. There's no going around that. Losing to Oakland was not an option for the Steelers last week, and they found a way to blow it. I mean, Big Ben blamed the X-ray machine in Oakland. He said that it wasn't working properly, so they had to wait to get X-rays, and that's why he didn't play in the third quarter. But it's like, if you're going to come in the fourth, like, there's no way that you got that much better in the third that you couldn't have gone in. Like, just suck it up. You're losing to Oakland. Get in there and guide your team to a win. I mean, I think Big Ben was a little bit soft in that situation.
Well, I don't know. I'll give Big Ben some credit. He literally came into the game on that drive and marched them down for a touchdown and took the lead. And
and then
their
their kicker
defense just
slipped,
collapsed.
and
So
it was just a mess.
Yeah, Boswell's having a bad year. But, I mean, Oakland beats Pittsburgh. They were like 11-point dogs and then fires their GM.
yeah.
Like, what?
I think
Now their GM has like 500 first-round picks.
I think
for
Gruden
their
will be
club.
the GM head coach.
See ya.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to be Belichick for sure.
Which, I mean, I don't know. If they can make something out of those picks, this could be a good football team in a few years. But look what the players that they traded away are doing. I mean, is there anyone that's going to be as good as Khalil Mack right now? Is there anyone who's going to be as good as Amari Cooper is playing? My God, did that guy have a good game this last week. I mean, those first-round picks are cool and all, but...
Did he? I didn't notice.
Those first-round picks are cool and all, but, like, are they as good as the players that they traded away is the big question.
Yeah, and on the Amari Cooper note and the Dallas note in general, I guess we kind of got to eat our words from our last podcast. I mean, like, go ahead, Dallas. Like,
Yeah,
you did it.
yeah.
You beat the Eagles.
Yeah, that was... I'm
No.
sorry, Robbie. That was hurtful.
Yeah, we might as well drop into our resident Eagles fan. What's happening?
All right, well, one guy burnt us. His name, Amari Cooper. He went to Alabama.
Yeah,
That's it.
that was a huge game for both teams. Now it's going to be hard for the Cowboys to lose that division lead.
I think Zeke had also 197 all-purpose yards. Again, like, he's almost hit 200 all-purpose yards the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay, so we'll draft more defensive players from Alabama. I
And
get
like
it.
the thing about the Cowboys playing good now, though, which I don't think is actually good for the team, is that Dak Prescott and Jason Garrett are probably going to get some fat extensions. And like, I don't think Jason Garrett's a very good head coach, but now that they're playing good, all of a sudden he's probably going to get an extension.
It's so stupid. He's the Andy Dalton of head coaches.
absolutely. It's a
Like,
great comparison.
He's so just vanilla. You know, like there's nothing exciting about him. He's just, you want ice cream? Sure. What do you
Yeah.
got? Vanilla. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I'll have some ice cream. Like, you know, like there's
And like Dak
nothing
has
exciting
proved
about
that
him.
he can't win games by himself. Like he needs that star player to make plays for him. And he looked awful in the first half and then really turned it on in the second half. But, like, I don't see Dak being an elite quarterback by any means. And I don't think that he has what it takes to guide this Cowboys team to a Super Bowl appearance or a championship. And, like, at the end of the day, are you just going to take 10 years of okay Dak Prescott and never win anything? Because right now they're going to have to extend him to, like, a huge contract.
No, you're right. I don't think he's their guy, but winning in Dallas, it's a exciting young defensive team with Leighton Van Den Esch, guys like that, Jalen Smith. They're going to extend him. They're not going to give him, the crazy money Kirk Cousins got or anything. He won't be getting 30, but he'll get low 20s, mid 20s.
Well, and look at Cousins. I mean, he's 4-23 now against teams with an above 500 record. I mean, that's not good enough. And he got big.
Well, and 0-7 on Monday
money
Night
to
Football.
Be a mediocre quarterback. Yeah,
which is hilarious. I just think that whole Kirk Cousins Minnesota Vikings thing is just absolutely comical. Just to touch on Dallas one last time, Ezekiel Elliott touched the ball 40 times in that game.
See, that's what the Giants need to do to Barkley.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick, actually.
Yeah.
Barkley needs those kind of touches every week, and the Giants would have probably had 3 more wins. Yeah.
That's Madden touches.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It's 40 touches.
Like 25 is
wild.
A pretty heavy workload for a running back in a week.
So, and I'm not talking about like 40 rushes. Like I'm talking, he touched the ball 40 times with receptions and running
you're
the ball.
aiming for 25 for
Yeah.
a star running back, whether that's through the air or on the ground. Like 25 is a good number, and Zeke got 40.
Yeah, and that doesn't include targets. Because I remember seeing a couple balls that went his way that he didn't catch. So make that 43, 44. Like, that's a lot of action.
That's craziness. And it worked. And I mean, Cooper got targeted 13 times as well. So, like, I guess the key to beating the Cowboys is shutting down 2 players.
Yeah, and this is Jason Garrett also finding something that works. The past couple weeks, it's been obvious. It's feed Ezekiel Elliott, give him the balls as many times as you have to, and you will win games.
And then use the run game to get Cooper the ball over the top.
Yeah, I mean, if you feed him in the run game, that opens up the play action.
Yeah, no, it's working, and the Cowboys are playing well, and they're probably going to win the division. So, I mean, who are we to judge a team that's going to win their division, I guess?
Yeah, I'm just super jealous.
Well, I guess moving on to the Thursday night game, we've got another really great game, the Chargers and the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs might lose this game.
Before we go on to the next week, can we talk about last Thursday and Derrick Henry for a second?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
So if you are one of the few people that started Derrick Henry in your fantasy league,
welcome to the semis.
Welcome to the semis.
I'm just going to go and say it here. None of you people that started Derrick Henry did it because you're smart. None of you. Not a single one of you was like, oh, Derrick Henry's going to have a huge week this week. I'm going to start him. It's because you had 2 running backs that were hurt, or you had like James Conner or something. You had to plug and play Derrick Henry. There is not one of you people out there that are in the semifinals that because of Derrick Henry that did it because you're smart. I'm sorry. Rant over.
Either of you guys want to guess what school Derrick Henry went to?
Geez. I think it's a southern
Is
state.
Nick Saban the coach?
It's Alabama.
Yep.
Hilarious.
Actually, on the Derrick Henry note, okay, let's do a little compare. Beastquake or that Derrick Henry run?
I still go Beastquake.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's right.
100%.
Riley?
Like, he was tossing guys.
Okay.
Like, Derrick Henry got, like, one quick little toss to the ground. Like, no, it doesn't compare, I don't think. But it was a good run.
Yeah,
it was
that
so
Marshawn
violent,
run was
dude.
violent.
Like, it was
that's how you
my favorite
explain
run
it.
of all time, hands down. Like, easily my favorite run of all time. And still is.
Yeah. Okay. I just had to air that to see where you guys stood on that. But yeah.
Yep.
Derrick Henry, monster game, career game probably. All right, let's move on. Thursday night football, Chiefs and Chargers.
This is for the division pretty much.
This is the first Thursday night football game that I'm super excited for in like 3 years.
This game is for the division, basically. I mean, KC's 11-2. The Chargers are 10-3. This is probably the biggest game divisionally in the entire NFL this year. And I really, really hope it lives up to the expectations because it has the ability to be an absolute shootout. And I really hope it's like LA Rams versus KC style and we get like a 56-54 final.
The only thing is the Chargers are missing Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler. So RB1, RB2 out.
Phillip Rivers is going to have to sling that ball around.
Well, I'm not going to say that's going to be enough to defend Patty Mahomes and stuff, but the Chargers are the only team with a top 5 offense, obviously with Gordon and Eckler out. That hurts. Yeah. But also a top 5 defense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're a complete team, especially with their boys in the back there. But, I mean, like, they're a complete team.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good game. And when we did our hot takes a couple weeks ago, I talked about the Chargers and how good they were and how I thought they were a top 2 team in the AFC. And, like, there is no reason for me to change that hot take now. I mean, this Chargers team plays well, and I honestly think that if KC has a slip-up at some point in the playoffs, that we could see the Chargers in the Super Bowl representing the AFC.
Totally, I could see it. I remember jousting with you pretty hard on that, but Chargers look good, man.
And if they can get Gordon healthy back for playoffs, you know, I think the only team in the AFC that can beat them is the Chiefs. The Patriots aren't beating the Chargers, nor do I think the Steelers or the Ravens, for that matter.
This is the first year in a long time, too, where I'm really excited about the AFC. Usually it's like,
I know.
All right, so the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. But, like, this year, I mean, we've got the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Steelers, the Ravens. Like, there's some teams.
And it's about time. It only took how many years for the AFC to get their shit together and just, okay, we need a team that can beat New England. Like, we need it.
On the back half of the season, it seems like the Steelers always blow it. Or in the playoffs.
They did just lose to Oakland.
This Steelers team has the ability and the talent to be in the Super Bowl, and they have for a few years, but they just don't do it. And I don't know what it is.
Yeah, a little bit of it'll be a defensive game, I think. Like, if New England wants to win this game, their defense has to show up. Right now, they're currently 22nd in the NFL, allowing, on average, 372 yards per game. 23rd in passing yards. They allow 259. And rushing yards, they're 15th, and they're allowing 113. So.
Yeah, this
defense isn't very good.
No, they're not. They're not great. And the offense sputters sometimes too when Big Ben has so many options and weapons. Sometimes I don't understand it, but we'll see. I mean, they have the ability to upset anyone in the AFC. I mean, the Steelers have the talent, but it's just what team shows up in the playoffs is going to be the big key. And now that they even have to battle to win the division when it looked like it was theirs for so long.
Yeah. Well, I think Antonio Brown's going to have a big day. He put up I think it was around 30 yards, and he's going to eat.
Yeah.
As long as Jalen Samuels doesn't have a big game against me in fantasy this week, I'm game for it.
Me and Robbie have the extreme pleasure of playing each other again.
Yeah.
40 bet on the fantasy week or what?
No, not quite that. I think I just have too much cred from my last win against Robbie to bet a 40 on that.
I'll bet a 40 on that.
I think you owe him one from a couple weeks ago.
I told you I didn't start a quarterback or a kicker.
Yeah.
And came out with a W against old Robbie.
Poor guy. But I had a bye, so that was just another bye week.
Yeah, just let the boys rest up.
Yeah. Thank you. You get it.
Okay, well, that pretty much wraps up the NFL. Riley, there's been a little bit of news in the world of the CFL.
Yeah, just a couple new head coaches announced I wanted to touch on quickly. Devon Claybrooks, the Calgary Stampeders' excellent defensive coordinator, has accepted a job as the BC Lions' new head coach. And last offseason, Claybrooks was pursued by Montreal for their head coaching position, but he bailed. He's like, nah, not about that Montreal life. I'd rather win a Grey Cup and stay a defensive coordinator with the Stamps. And like probably a great decision, honestly. I mean, Montreal is a complete tire fire. So he gets to replace the legendary Wally Buono, who has finally retired. It took a few years, well, maybe I'll retire, maybe I won't. But finally, Wally's out of there, and it'll be Devon Claybrooks in. And then the Riders' ex-head coach, Corey Chamberlain, has accepted a head coaching job with the Toronto Argonauts. He was the defensive coordinator in 2017 with the Argos when they won. And then he went to Arkansas to coach this past year, and now he's back in Toronto as the head coach. So now 5 of the 9 CFL head coaches have worked under John Hufnagel in Calgary at some point, which is just a crazy stat.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah, so that's all I got on the CFL, but the coaching position's filling out for next season, but they still need to get a CBA done.
That they do. Another quick pivot, Robbie. We didn't have you here last week, but NCAA news, Heisman.
We're just going to talk about this quick here. Tua from Alabama got robbed. I don't understand how you can penalize a great player with a great defense, so great that he only has to play 3/4 of each game, and reward a still great player who doesn't have a defense. Like, I get it, but if Alabama didn't have the defense that they do, Tua would have racked up. Imagine he played 4 quarters against teams like the Citadel, in the games where he plays 3 quarters and still scores 6 touchdowns. Like, oh my goodness, the guy would have been popping off, setting records that he didn't have to set because the defense was just so great. To me, it's the equivalent of Russell Westbrook in the NBA winning the MVP last year. To me, there's 4 guys, it should be a revolving door, who win MVP in the NBA every year. It's LeBron James, Steph Curry, KD, and LeBron James. LeBron is your MVP every single year. Sure, you can have a couple years where you're like, well, yada, yada, yada. That's Tua. Tua was the most valuable player to the NCAA. He was the most valuable player on the best team. The team went undefeated. Rant over.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I agree with you 100%.
Kyler Murray also having joined the Oakland Athletics in the MLB.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's going to play baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. He's a first-round pick. He would be projected to go maybe in the 2nd round, maybe the 3rd round of the NFL draft. So, obviously, I mean, you play the game where you're going to make more money, where you're not getting smashed in the head. Yeah. It's safe. You get to play until you're 40. Also, he would have to pay back his $4.6 million signing bonus.
Yeah.
So, there's no way he gives that up.
The only thing about baseball is it's so much more unpredictable, like who's going to actually become a star and who's not. I mean, they have like 30-some rounds of drafting every single year. And there's a lot of first-round players that don't actually amount to anything. So I feel like his skill in football is more guaranteed. His ability, I think, is more guaranteed because, you need Tommy John once and your career's pretty much done. I mean, a lot of people do come back from Tommy John, but a lot of people don't. So it's interesting to me that he chose baseball, but I mean, what is he, 5'9", 5'10"? So, I mean, there's not a lot of quarterbacks that are that short in the NFL, so.
Yeah. He's a small guy, but he got it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, he is a short dude. I think he's much better off playing baseball because I don't know if you guys have seen him, but he's a dynamite fielder. Like, nothing gets by him. He's just so fast. I think he batted .298, in the collegiate level. He's a stud. He's going to make a name for himself. I mean, it won't be for another 4 or 5 years. He's not Mike Trout by any means, but he's also not Drew Brees, so he's going to be a stud. 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, you guys are going to hear about him again, but it's going to be in an Athletics jersey and, not playing for the Raiders or something.
Yeah, that's probably an all right decision.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And financially, he figured it out.
Yeah.
Couple big bowl games coming up. One this week, Eli, your Arizona State.
Yep.
Playing against Fresno State in the
Las Vegas Bowl.
They're 4-point dogs. I honestly think they get smoked. I think they could be 10-point dogs. For people who don't know how a bowl works, everyone just knows all the best teams get to go to a bowl. But not necessarily. You need to have 6 wins, so you need to at least go 6-6 in the season. And that's not exactly easy. There was only 82 teams in Division I football that qualified, and luckily there was 78 teams that got placed. There was 4 teams that didn't: Wyoming, Miami, Ohio, Louisiana, Monroe, and there's another team that I can't remember. So almost everyone who went 6-6 gets to play in a bowl game. And a benefit to a bowl game is, for every bowl game that your conference plays in, your conference gets paid, and that goes equally to each team in the conference. So a team like Tennessee, who only had 3 wins, they're going to get a whole bunch of money because 7 of the other teams in the conference are going to bowl games. Bowl games can make you anywhere from $400K per the conference. $400K to $1 million. The semifinal games make you $18 million to be shared among the conference, and the College Football Championship makes $22 million for the conference. So aside from that, you also want to accept these bowl invites, because if it came down to pick a school like, I don't know, Rice. I don't even know if they have a bowl game this year, but if you're watching Sports Center, you're a 2 or a 3-star recruit, and you get a letter from Rice and you get a letter from Northeastern State. You watched Rice in the whatever bowl, the Tostitos Bahama Mama Pinterest Bowl, right? You're going to be like, wow, I remember seeing them. That was a pretty sweet play. They played in the Bahamas. Yeah, I'm going to go to Rice. So teams love going to this. Conferences love that their teams go to this. It's just win-win.
Yeah.
The big games, December 29th, we've got Alabama and Oklahoma. So we got Kyler Murray versus Tua. They're playing in the Peach Bowl. That's going to be insane. And then we've got Notre Dame and Clemson going at it too. And I mean, Alabama definitely wins out. I think they've got a 14-point. I think they're 14-point favorites right now. Tua's going to destroy Kyler Murray.
Oh.
He's going to play all 4 quarters. He's going to hope it goes to overtime just so he can rack up another 130 yards. Tua's going to destroy him.
He's going
and
on
Clemson's
FU
going to
tour.
Smoke Notre Dame.
Big ol' FU tour.
What was that, Riley?
Big ol' FU tour for Tua in the playoffs.
Yeah,
he's going to put.
It's going to be insane, and he's going to
yards.
rack up next year's Heisman.
Yep.
So,
Okay, so we've got a couple bowl games this week and next week. I'm going to jump in a little segment here because, Riley, you are actually coming to see us in Kelowna at the end of January for some playoff football. So we're just going to pick rounds of shots, and if you win, you don't have to get the round.
Okay.
And we're just going to pick random bowl games. So I'm not even going to tell you guys the team. I'm just going to tell you the bowl game, and you just tell me home or away. So basically no skill, but...
I hate this game, but I'll play.
Okay, Riley.
Actually, Riley, you get first pick.
Yeah.
You tell him the team.
I could tell Riley the team. Okay, I'm just trying to find, a decent, funny bowl game. Okay, Riley. Let's do the Cure Bowl.
Cure?
Tulane. Cure. Cure Bowl.
Okay.
And it's Tulane versus... You know what that school is?
Yeah, that's University of Louisiana Lafayette.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, baby. I'm taking ULL.
I'll take Tulane. I'll take the Wave.
Okay, boom.
Oh.
First game done. Okay, let's move into another bowl game.
Give us
just
something
for
fun
me.
here.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. There's so many bowl games. Okay, here we go. Here we go, boys. The Idaho Potato Bowl.
Ooh, who do we got in that one?
BYU, Western Michigan.
Robbie, you got first pick
What
in
do you
that
want?
one?
I'll take Brigham Young.
Yeah. I'll be Western Michigan.
Fun fact, Brigham Young, Steve Young's great-grandpa.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And
One more.
Then, one more.
Give us a ranked one. Give us something good.
Okay, we'll go ranked. Let's do the Peach Bowl.
Oh, don't do that to a guy.
Michigan, Florida.
What day is
Who do you
that
want?
game played on?
That's
the 29th,
end of the
isn't it?
month, yeah. Big.
Who you going, Robbie? I'll give you this one.
I want Michigan.
Fine by me.
I want Coach Kaki.
You get the Gators, Riley.
I'll take the Gators all day.
There's,
Ugh.
and we'll do one more.
Oh, okay.
Just because this is interesting. The Fiesta Bowl. LSU against UCF. Lots of news against UCF.
The undefeated.
I'm taking
UCF.
LSU.
Over
Riley.
2 seasons.
I'm taking LSU. I'm over UCF with all this big game talk. They don't got shit.
I'll take UCF.
Boom. That's a big one. Oh, that's not till the new year, but oh well. Okay, sweet. NCAA done. Riley, take us through some picks.
Oh man, we were brutal again last week. 2 wins combined between the three of us. I'll start with myself. I went 1-2 last week. I had the Pats at -7.5 versus Miami. That didn't work out. Even without the Miami Miracle, the Pats still wouldn't have covered. I had ATL +5 versus Green Bay. They came out in a cold weather game and sucked as usual. And then I had the Rams -3 versus Chicago, and they also played in the cold weather. I guess I got to take weather into factor when I'm picking games this late in the season. Who knew? But yeah, the Rams lost to Chicago, so I went 1-2, and that wasn't great for me. But there's always next week. Eli, you went 1-2 as well. So yeah, last week you had Detroit -3 versus Arizona. That won for you. That was your one win. KC -6.5 versus Baltimore. That didn't work out for you because KC did win, but they only won by 3. And then you had Houston -4.5 versus Indy, and that was a loss as well. So Indy won that one. You went 1-2. You're now 23-18-1. And as for Robbie, the Patriots -7.5 didn't go for you. Falcons didn't go for you. And the Rams didn't go for you. So you're 15-18 now. And it's not looking
0-6
it's not
over the
looking
last
good
2
for you
weeks.
in the playoffs.
It was just another bye week.
Yeah, you're just resting up for the final few weeks of the season here. I believe in you. As for this week, we'll start with Robbie. He has Houston at -6 versus the Jets. He has Tampa Bay at +8 versus Baltimore. He thinks that the old Bucks will keep it close against the Ravens. And he has...
That's a spicy pick.
Yeah, that is a spicy
Well,
pick.
I mean, they kept it close with the Saints.
That's true. I mean, Tampa Bay has the ability to score lots of points if they want to. But sometimes they blow it. But we'll see. I mean, Baltimore doesn't put up a whole lot of points lately. They just manage the ball well, and their defense is sick. So
I want Baltimore to win. I really, really do. But within 8 points.
Nice. And then your final pick is Tennessee +2.5 versus the Giants. You don't think the Giants will be able to pull that one out?
I hated all of the picks this week.
They were not great.
Looking to go 0 for 9, longest losing streak of the season. As for myself, I have Chicago -5.5 versus Green Bay. I have Seattle -5 versus San Fran. I think the Seahawks are on a bit of a heater here. And I got Oakland +3 versus Cincy. I think the Raiders are going to pull that one out. I don't like Cincy very much anymore, especially with Dalton out. And I think Oakland's going to go on a 2-game heater here. Eli, what you got for us?
I'm also, like Robbie, taking that Houston game at -6 against the Jets. I'm jumping on the Baker Mayfield train.
Nice.
Cleveland +3 against Denver. They're gonna show up. I think that defense plays well. I think they make that Denver offense look pretty
Yeah.
pretty mediocre. They're going to shut down Lindsey and get some pressure on Case Keenum. And then I'm also going to take, like I mentioned earlier, Pittsburgh plus 1.5 against New England. Oof. At Heinz Field. Pittsburgh's going to snap their streak. Antonio's probably going to catch 2 touchdowns for 150 yards.
Oh, my God.
I'm calling it.
You're praying for it because you have them.
Yep. My 3 favorite picks were Eli's 3 picks. And if I think I'm going to catch this guy somehow, I had to pick other picks. So it kind of put me in a bit of a dangle.
That's a good week, boys.
And I did get my picks in to Riley early today.
Yeah.
Just to secure that.
Yeah, I was looking at that Cleveland game, but I saw that you took it, so I went a little bit of a different direction. But yeah, those are some spicy picks, Eli. I think you guys both have a pretty tough one, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, that's everything.
That's everything.
What are you guys getting your mom for Christmas?
I can't say on here, even though she told me what she...
Unfortunately, I also can't say.
I know for a fact my mom does not listen. She thinks that she thinks I don't have 2 friends to talk with, and if I do, like, they're like my online friends.
Mom's comes to the ball games, though.
Oh, Mom's is my biggest
Sports.
fan, but she doesn't think that there's such a thing as a podcast. Slippers?
Could do slippers.
Yeah.
Slippers and then like maybe like a car wash gift card. I don't know.
You got to invest in this place.
Something thoughtful, but not too thoughtful.
You got to invest in this place called Hilberg and Burke, Robbie. Hilberg and Burke is clutch as hell. It's a Saskatchewan started company, and they have everything there mom's related, like earrings and like other cool stuff. It's
car washes.
It's a great place. Check them out online. I'm sure your mom would like some cool stuff from there. That's what I get from my mom. Just tells me what she wants from there, and I just go pick it up. So
nice.
Yeah,
I'm into it. All right, get us out of here.
Yeah. All right. Well, no free ads here. We're gonna have to invoice Hilberg and Burke later tonight. But that's all we've got for you guys this week. Thank you for listening. We're actually now up on a website, The Grueling Truth. Check us out on there. Lots of good content. Shout out Grueling Truth.
TBT, TGT, TGT,
TGT. Yeah. So
follow us on Insta
we will
too.
talk to you guys next week. Oh yeah, Riley's now taken over our Instagram account, so he's making lots of funny NFL memes and things along that line. So toss us a follow.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will talk to you guys next week.
Ariana Grande, holla at me.
Love you.
See ya.
Peace.
I got you stuck off the realness. Think not this shit's too hot. Too hot. Too hot. Rock you in your face. Dab your brain with your nose bone. I'm a vampire walking on the surface of the sun.